up, everybody? It's me, Oliver. Solo video. So let's jump right into it, right? All right. So as you can see from the title of this video is about the bureaucratic process after having a baby in a birth center. So with birth center birth, you have to take care of getting the birth certificate. You have to have the paperwork for that. You have to have the paperwork for the social security card and things of that nature. So I'm going to go step by step how to go through this process as it's concerned with Los Angeles County. Every county has something different, but I'm sure it's kind of the same everywhere. But this is specifically for Los Angeles County for the year 2022. Ready for this? All right, first solo video, so let's go. All right, so all this, and also this has to be done after the birth. There's two steps that can be done before the birth, but I'll talk about that when I get to it. But the main steps have to be done. The baby has to be born. You can't get the birth certificate, you can't get a social security card without a baby being born. So take note of that. All right, so step one, baby's born. So after the baby's born, most likely, again, if you're doing a birth center birth, you're gonna just have the baby. You're gonna have the baby. If it's any of if it's like our birth center, they're not gonna hit you with paperwork. Here, take this, take that. And there, no, you just go home with your baby because we're only there for like maybe extra 2 to 4 hours. So when you're home, most likely what the midwives will do, they'll mail you two things. One of them is called I got my notes here, a birth worksheet. So a birth worksheet is pretty much name, what time the baby was born, height, weight, and all that good stuff. It's like a worksheet. Think of school where you have to fill in the blanks for the answers. It's just like that. It's just filling in all the stats about the baby and who the mother is, who the father is, and things like that. All right. Another thing they mail also is called a birth affidavit. Now this is just a letterhead from the birth center stating that such and such was born, such and such day, weighing such and such, how many what them things called? How many prenatal visits they had all together and things like that. All right. So those two things they give. And the reason why those two things are important because those are the things that are needed to get the birth certificate. All right. In a hospital birth, I'm assuming they do all that. They just give you little things, say, here, just hand this in and you have to get it. Okay. So after the birth, you're home. In a few days, they're going to mail you that. Now, a tip for this, ask if you could get 2 birth affidavits, to get 2 of them. Again, all it is just a summary of what happened and their signature with the business letterhead. I'll get to why in a second, but try to get 2 of them. So you get one birth worksheet and 2 birth affidavits. All right. All right. Now you're home. You have all the paperwork. What do you do? All right. So as far as Los Angeles County now, you have to make an appointment at the Office of Vital Statistics to get a birth certificate, right? You have to make an appointment to put in the paperwork to get the birth certificate. All right. So I think when I did it, her name was Jessica. I called first, but she wasn't in, and they told me to email her. So they gave me an email address, and I emailed her saying I want a birth certificate. I had a out of hospital birth. She said, cool. I'm filling in this week. Can you come in anytime this week? Made the appointment. And she also gave out all the paperwork I needed to fill out and what to bring to the appointment. Now, the paperwork to fill out is called just an application for a certified copy of birth record, aka a birth certificate. All right. But the main thing is, what do you need to bring with that to get it? So everything that we talk about today, you have to have a bunch of other paperwork to make sure this is real, because I guess fraud, so people don't get a birth certificate, then get a social security number and all that jazz. So you fill out the application, again, straightforward. All this stuff, all the answers on the application, as far as like how many prenatal visits and things like that, because they do ask that, it's on the worksheet. And with LA County, they also ask you things like, do you smoke? are you on this? Like all like statistic questions. So don't be afraid to answer those. This is a bunch of statistics. So along with the application to get the birth certificate, you have to bring the birth worksheet, proof of identification, so driver's license, passport, whatever, proof of address, proof of pregnancy, which is the birth affidavit, and the money to pay for it. So the cost of a birth certificate here, it's different than what they stated on the website. I think the website, it was, how much was it on the website? I think either $32 or $38, one of those two, but it was more than that. So you have to pay that, and if you're paying with a card, you have to pay a $1.75 processing fee. I got 2 copies of this. Now, the reason I got 2 is because another thing we're going to get to, another application you want to fill out. But in California, I guess there's like a state verification code that goes on the birth certificate. So you have to get at least one of those birth certificates if you're getting more than one, or if you're getting one, it has to have like some kind of identification code, because that birth certificate is going to go to your second step, which is getting your social security number. So it has to be registered. That number has to be there because they take it down when you do your social security card. So when I did all that, filled out, made the appointment, got all the paperwork, I went there first, gave her the paperwork, paid for the 2 birth certificates. Then she told me I could have one now, but it's only good, it won't be good for the social security number because it doesn't have that state identification number, or I could come back and pick up at a later time, or she could mail it. So I went on the Monday, and she said she'll have everything most likely on a Wednesday, which was true. So I said, you know what, just give me both copies with the state identification number, whatever, it's all good. So did all that. All the application was pretty much straightforward. She didn't ask any questions or anything like that. Just made sure everything was filled out correctly, put it in, paid. So I paid the $32 plus the processing fee, that times 2. I'll put it up how much I paid, I forget. And I waited for a call back saying to pick up your birth certificate. Again, I waited for both of them to have the same thing, just because, I mean, it was no point having one if I couldn't get the Social Security with it. So I said, just give me both because I'm not in a rush right now. So got those. Easy, went there, picked it up. So as far as like me, the waiting and stuff like that, it was very easy. I was the only person waiting because not a lot of people are getting out of hospital births at that time. So I was the only person online to put in the application. When I came back, I was the only person ready to pick it up. Simple stuff. All right. Next. So after the birth certificate, you could go one or two ways. You could go get a social security card, or you could go get a passport. If you're about that life, traveling, things like that. Like my family, they're all from either England or Jamaica. My wife's family, Simone, her family's either in France, Belgium, in Europe, or in Cameroon. So it's real big just to have a passport. So when you have the birth certificate, you could get a passport and you don't need a social security card, or you get the social security card because there's documentations you want to put them in. If you want to put your baby into health insurance, the baby has to have a social security card, social security number. All right, so I'm going to go through the social security number process because that's where some of the things you needed times 2 there, getting here, okay? All right, so we got the birth certificate. Now we want to get a social security card. So what you have to do here, you have to go on the government website, social security website, and you have to fill out a SS-5 form. And pretty much this SS-5 form, everyone fills it out no matter what it is to go into Social Security. So no matter what it is, if you want to change your name because you're married or anything like that, you're filling out this form. So, of course, new applicant, whatever. So this is where the second birth affidavit comes in. Now, to get a Social Security card for anybody, you need 2 forms of ID. Now, for a newborn, there is no 2 forms of ID. There's only one, which is the birth certificate. So you have to come up with a way to get an identification card, another identification for the baby. So Out of the hospital, one thing the person said when I was there is that a immunization card would work. The baby being on your insurance, the baby's name on your insurance card, that would work. I guess a record of birth from a lot of stuff from the hospital that they give would work. But when you're doing an out of hospital birth, you don't have any of those. So what you get, what does work, and which is why I told you to get two, is the birth affidavit. Because when you get the birth certificate, they take everything. They take the birth worksheet, they take the affidavit. So when you're going to the Social Security, the only way you could do a second round, we'll call it, of identification is if you have another copy that's signed. All this, it can't be a copy. It has to be an official, signed, letterhead, all that good stuff. So if you did get two affidavits, you just give them the birth certificate, give them the affidavit, give them the form that's filled out, you're good to go. All right, and when you get all that done, it takes about 2 weeks. We got ours in 2 weeks. All right, now simultaneously or afterwards, if you want to, you get your baby, a newborn, a passport. So we decided to do this. This is a super easy process. Again, it's all about the identification part. So with this one, all we needed was a birth certificate. That's it. Birth certificate, and this is the caveat for this. Say, so you have the birth certificate, whoever else is on that birth certificate besides the mother, so if there's a father or any other person, that person has to be there and present and sign to get the baby a passport. All right, so whoever's on the birth certificate as an identification has to be there present to sign for the baby to get a passport. I know there's forms if the person is either deceased or in jail, or you get a written notarized letter saying that you allow the baby to get a passport. But whoever's on that passport has to be present to get it. And for this one, it's only birth certificate that you only need. Social Security card, they do ask for it in the application, but for Amari, our son, we just put 00 000 00 0000. All right, it's not needed for the passport, a Social Security number. So that's why I said if you get the Social Security card, you can't get the passport at the same time, or you get the passport first, then get the Social Security card and use the passport as identification for the Social Security card. But the passport takes about 2 months, maybe, because of the way what we're going through now. So it's up to you what way you want to go, but I suggest going for the passport third. Get all the serious stuff out of the way first. All right. Now you got the birth certificate, you got the Social Security card. Now you got the passport stuff done. All good. Now this is one thing I thought of doing. I've always wanted to do, but I didn't know I could do it sooner. Now that's opening up a 529 account, which is a college savings account, and a UGMA and an UTMA account, which is a brokerage account for your baby. So a 529 college account is pretty much a savings account for college expenses. You can only use it for college expenses. It's tax deferred. As long as you use it, that you don't have to pay taxes on the gains and things like that. This one, I got it for Amari after I got the I got it before he had a Social Security card. Now, how I did that is that I opened an account and I put it under my name. I'm the account holder and I'm the beneficiary. So it's pretty much saying if I go to school, I can use this money to pay for any kind of college expenses. So what I did was open the account, put money in it. It's under my name. Now, when Amari got his Social Security number, his actual number, I took myself off the beneficiary. I'm still the account holder, but I'm not the beneficiary, and I put it under Amari's name, which is my son's name. And now he benefits from, going to college, this, that, and third. Now, the reason why I did this, and I'm doing it now, because I'm into stocks. I love stocks. I've been doing it. I put Simone onto it, but my brother onto it. But it's always say if you put your money in the stock market early, it grows a lot better in 2 decades. So I really want to test that out. So as of right now, Amari's about to be 2 months old this week. Well, yeah, this week. And he already has a college savings account in his name and all that good stuff. And what's good about this account also is that if I could give like a link to my parents so they could put money into it, because for the first birthday, I know we ain't getting him a whole bunch of toys. So, and I know everyone wants to give him toys and clothes, but it'll be more advantageous to give him just money to save for the long run. Now, UGMA or UTMA account. These are two brokerage accounts now for a brokerage custodial account. So this, again, you can have, but you have to wait till Social Security for the baby to have a Social Security number to make it in their name. So what I did is that before my Amari got his Social Security number, I bought the stocks that I wanted to put in his account. And I just held those stocks until I built that account because he got a Social Security number, and I just transferred it. So pretty much, if you're, and this is why it's so important, especially a lot of people that want to be, generate wealth for your kids and things like that. You could have a 529, you could have an UTMA account before the baby's born, or, when the baby's conceived, or at any point before they get a Social Security card. You can actually put money aside, so when they do get their Social Security number, you could put it right into their account. So again, Amari has one. It's like I'm not putting like a whole stash of money in there, but I am putting enough in there so when Amari gets to the age of about he's starting to understand money, I could use these as an example. Say, yeah, if you save your money, it's gonna build, because this is what I did for you now. All right. So those are the two. Those are the two kinds of custodial accounts I would like you to think about opening, especially since your baby's a newborn and a lot of people are giving you gifts and things like that. And if you have everything as far as like the baby registry, as far as gifts, you can tell people, you know what, just give me cash and I'll put it straight to their fund. I'll put it straight to their savings accounts. All right. So again, we went over how to get a birth certificate for an out of hospital birth for Los Angeles. Every county is different, but it's probably around the same thing. After getting the birth certificate, how to get that Social Security card, how to get that passport, and how to set up a custodial account, UGMA, UTMA, and a 529. All right. So the reason why I'm giving this video out, because when I was looking, is all the information is very scattered and things like that. So I have to look into it myself. So I'm just putting everything in one video. I'll probably chop it up, and so it can help all the people that's about to have kids and make sure they're in the right path of just getting all these documents straight. Because they tell you how to get it, but they don't give you the little quirks and when to do it and things like that. So hopefully this helps you new parents out there out, especially the savings accounts. I think that's big. So really look into that. And what else I'm going to go through? The next video, my next solo video, is going to be about how much the out of hospital birth, how much it costs us with insurance. That covers it, some of it. So I'm gonna go down with the numbers and how much we had to go out of pocket, how much we got back, this, that, and the third, all the little classes we did and things like that. All right. So again, hope this helps you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you like this information. Again, kind of stuff I wish I saw during the time I was researching, trying to figure out how to get this paperwork, because if you have an out of hospital birth, you have to do this yourself. So my name is Oliver Williams.